Welcome back to the Money Cheat Code podcast. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Maya.
And I'm Kai.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about the 5 most profitable creative businesses to start in 2026. Kai, what's number 1?
Number 1 is what the data calls the consumables model.
Okay, consumables. Break that down for me.
So on the surface, this just looks like, selling stuff. We're talking about tea, candles, specialized dog treats, maybe supplements.
Things people use up.
Exactly. But the engine underneath, the part that makes it a cheat code, is recurring value.
Right, because if I sell someone a couch, that's a one-time sale. But if I sell them tea, they drink it, they run out, they have to buy more.
Precisely. And this gets back to a concept we talk about a lot, customer lifetime value, or LTV.
Which is just the total amount of money a customer is going to spend with you.
Right. And here's why consumables are so powerful for 2026. The single biggest cost in any business is usually customer acquisition cost. It is so expensive and so draining to get a total stranger to trust you and pull out their credit card.
Oh, it's the hardest part. It feels like you're just constantly auditioning for every single sale.
Totally. So if you sell, say, a dining room table, you pay that cost with ads, with content, whatever. They buy the table, and then what? You might not see them again for a decade. You're right back on that treadmill looking for another stranger.
Ugh, that sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
It is. But with consumables, you pay that acquisition cost once. If the product is good, the second, third, 20th sale, they happen almost on autopilot, not because you made some great video that week, but just because the customer ran out.
The research mentioned something psychological here too, didn't it? Something about decision fatigue.
This is huge. I mean, think about your average day. You're just bombarded with choices, what to eat, what email to answer, what to watch. It's draining.
Oh, totally. By 6 p.m., do not ask me what I want for dinner. I physically cannot make another decision.
Exactly. And that's the hook. When a customer finds a consumable they trust, like a specific tea that helps them focus, they stop looking. They automate that part of their life because they don't want to make that choice again.
So by subscribing or just being a loyal customer, they're kind of buying back their own mental energy.
They're completely bypassing the decision. And for the business owner, that loyalty just transforms the entire financial picture. I was looking at the reports, and the number of customers you need for a full-time income it's shockingly low.
Okay, I love this part. Run the actual numbers for us, because I think people hear this and assume you need like 1 million followers to make any real money.
Not even close. Let's use a pretty conservative example. Say you have a subscription box or a recurring product that costs $49 a month.
Okay, $49 a month.
To make about $5,000 a month, which is a really solid full-time income for a lot of people, you don't need 10,000 customers. You need 100.
Wait, really? Just 100 people?
100. That's it. You could fit your entire business in a small coffee shop.
Wow. That feels so much more doable. 100 people isn't going viral.
And it gets better. To hit a 6-figure run rate, so we're talking $10,000 a month, you need roughly 204 customers.
No way. 204 people. I'm pretty sure I went to high school with more people than that.
It's wild, isn't it? We've been so conditioned by social media to think that success means 1 million views. But the data is clear. Viral is vanity. Recurring is sanity.
I love that. So the real strategy isn't how do I get famous? It's what problem does a small group of people have over and over again?
That's it. You solve a recurring problem, you build real financial stability.
Okay, but I have to play devil's advocate. You mentioned candles. I mean, the barrier to entry for selling candles is basically zero. Anyone can do it. Aren't you just going to get crushed by the competition?
And that is the perfect question. It's a valid concern. And it brings us to this core concept that applies to every single business we're going to talk about today. You need a moat.
A moat? Like around a castle?
Exactly like a castle. In business, a moat is what protects you from competition. Because you're right, if your only selling point is I sell candles, you have no moat.
And Amazon has a bigger moat, cheaper shipping, and lower prices. So I lose.
You lose every single time. So the question becomes, how does a small creator build a moat against a giant? You do it through what we call hyperspecificity. The framework from the research is a niche within a niche within a niche.
Okay, walk me through the layers. Let's stick with the candle example.
All right, so level 1, you say, I sell candles. Result, you fail. You're a commodity.
Harsh, but true.
Level 2, I sell soy candles for relaxation. Okay, that's better, but it's still way too broad. There are thousands of those.
Yeah, you're still just noise.
But then you get to level 3, the sweet spot. I sell soy candles specifically for people with high-functioning anxiety who need a calming nighttime ritual that doesn't involve screens.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a completely different business.
Right. You're not selling a candle anymore. You are selling a very specific solution to a very specific person.
And all of a sudden, Yankee Candle isn't your competition. You are literally the only choice for that person at 10 p.m. who's trying to wind down.
Exactly. When you shrink your market, your conversion rate actually goes up because your message hits so hard, it screams, "This was made for you."
I love that. The narrower you go, the deeper the connection. Now, there was a really tactical piece of advice in the research about building this moat, right? Something about setting up the shop itself.
Yes, this is crucial. To really own that niche, you have to own your platform. You cannot build your castle on rented land, and social media is rented land.
Right, algorithms change, you can get banned, you need your own website.
You do. But the specific advice for 2026 is about signaling intent.
Yeah.
The recommendation is to get a domain name that immediately tells people you're a business, not a hobby. And they specifically suggest a .store domain.
A store domain, why that instead of just a .com?
It's all about perception. A .com could be anything, a blog, a portfolio, whatever. But a store URL signals immediately, I am a shop. I am open for business.
It sets a professional tone from the second they see the link.
It builds instant trust. And let's be real, finding a good short .com is basically impossible these days. A store lets you actually claim your brand name. It's a small detail, but it plants your flag in the ground.
That makes a ton of sense. Okay, let's move on to business number 2. This one feels a little counterintuitive to me because it just seems completely flooded. Specialized freelancing.
I know what you're thinking. Isn't freelancing just totally saturated?
Yes. I mean, between all the different platforms out there and everyone learning to code or edit video, isn't it just a race to the bottom on price?
That's the paradox the data shows. While the quantity of people offering services is at an all-time high, the quality is incredibly scarce.
So there are a lot of freelancers, but not a lot of good freelancers.
Exactly. It's called the quality gap. There's a massive difference between the number of people who say they can do a job and the number who can actually do it reliably, communicate well, and not need constant hand-holding.
So most of the saturation is actually just low-quality noise.
Almost all of it. Business owners are desperate for competence. But again, to win, you have to apply that mode of specificity we were talking about.
So you can't just be a video editor.
No. If you're just a video editor, you're a commodity. You're fighting for scraps on price.
Okay, so how do you niche down a service like that?
You define the client, not just the skill. So don't be a video editor. Be a video editor specifically for educational female YouTubers who sell digital courses.
Wow. That sounds so narrow, but I immediately get it. You're learning the exact style and language of that one specific group.
It cuts through the noise instantly. I mean, think about it from the client's perspective. If you're a female course creator, you see that and you immediately think, oh, they get me. They know how to edit a video to sell something. They get my aesthetic.
Yeah, you're not comparing them to some $5 editor on Fiverr anymore. You're hiring a specialist.
Exactly. And your client acquisition cost basically drops to zero.
Because of referral.
The referral engine is everything. That specific group of YouTubers, they're all in the same communities, the same masterminds. They talk. You do great work for one, and she tells 3 of her friends. All of a sudden, you have a wait list, and you've stopped marketing completely.
That is the dream. Okay, business number 3. I think this is one where a lot of people feel super intimidated. Teaching your craft.
The knowledge economy is still just massive, especially for tangible, hands-on skills. We're talking ceramics, woodworking, sewing, things like that.
But that's where the imposter syndrome kicks in, right? Most people think, I'm not a world-class master. Who am I to teach this?
And that is what the research calls the expert trap. It kills so many potential businesses. The truth is, you do not have to be in the top 1% to be a great teacher.
You don't?
No. In fact, sometimes the best in the world are the worst teachers.
Why is that?
It's the curse of knowledge. They've completely forgotten what it's like to be a beginner. They can't relate to the struggle anymore. They skip steps because the basics seem obvious to them.
That is so true. Some of the best teachers I've had were people who were just a little bit ahead of me.
Exactly. The rule here is relative expertise. You only need to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the person you're teaching.
So you're not selling them a PhD.
You're selling them a shortcut. A beginner could find all the information for free on YouTube, sure, but they'd have to sort through hundreds of hours of bad advice. They pay you to curate the path and help them avoid the common mistakes.
That really takes the pressure off. But I'm guessing we have to niche this down too. We can't just teach photography.
You're getting it. No, you
No.
can't. Instead, you teach product photography for handmade sellers who shoot at home using natural light.
I love that example because if I'm an Etsy seller in a small apartment, I don't care about a 3-point lighting setup. I need to know how to use my window.
You're solving their exact problem. But, and this is a huge warning in the research, we have to be clear about something.
Uh-oh, what's the catch?
Teaching is not passive income.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Seriously. There's this myth that you just record a course, put it online, and then you're done. But real teaching requires empathy. You're dealing with people who are struggling.
So if you don't actually care if the student succeeds, the whole thing falls apart.
It just becomes a churn and burn business. The most successful teachers are the ones building communities and actually mentoring their students. It's an emotional investment. If you don't care, you will fail.
It's a relationship business. Got it. Okay, business number 4 taps into pure emotion. Personalized products.
Yeah, this trend just never goes away because it's the ultimate defense against commoditization. In a world of same-day delivery, everything feels disposable. Personalization makes it feel permanent.
It changes an object from just a product into a memory.
Right. And when you do that, the economics completely change. You can't charge $40 for a generic white mug. But a mug with a custom drawing of a specific inside joke between friends, that's easily a $40 or $50 item.
So you need fewer customers to hit your income goals because the value of each sale is so much higher.
Exactly. And it creates a natural moat against AI and mass production. Some factory can print 1 million world's best dad mugs. It cannot print a mug with your dad's specific weird catchphrase on it.
Okay, but the research pointed out a big quality trap here. And I've definitely been a victim of this, ordering a custom gift and it arrives and it just feels cheap.
That is the #1 killer of this business model. People think the custom art makes up for a bad product. It absolutely does not.
Right.
If you put a beautiful design on a scratchy t-shirt or a mug that chips after one wash, you've lost. The customer buys once, feels disappointed, and they never come back.
And they definitely do not tell their friends.
Nope. For this model to work, the base product, the t-shirt, the canvas, the jewelry, it has to be high quality on its own. If the quality is amazing, the product markets itself.
Quality is the marketing. I like that. Okay, let's hit the last one. Business number 5, which honestly usually gets a really bad rap. Print on demand.
It does. It has a reputation for being a low-effort, get-rich-quick thing filled with junk.
Yeah, all I can picture are those t-shirts with like really bad fonts and generic quotes all over the internet.
It's basically spam. But the real opportunity in 2026 is to take the anti-trend approach, to use print on demand as a logistics solution, not a business identity.
Okay, so what does that pivot look like?
Well, most people doing POD just use the generic digital mock-ups from the printing company, and you can spot them a mile away. The winning strategy is to treat it like a real design brand, and that means you have to order samples yourself.
You actually have to buy your own products.
You have to. You buy them, you hold them, you feel the quality, and then you take your own photos and videos of the product in real life.
Yeah.
On a real person with good lighting.
That makes such a huge difference. The second I see a real photo instead of a digital mock-up, my trust level goes way up.
It signals that you're a real brand, not just some automated bot. When you control the imagery, you control the perceived value. You're not relying on some algorithm to find you customers. You're building a brand that just happens to use POD for fulfillment.
That's the key distinction. It's a logistics choice, not what the business is.
Spot on.
Okay, so we've covered the 5. Consumables, specialized freelancing, teaching, personalized products, and a high-end approach to print on demand. But Kai, as we wrap this up, there's a common thread running through all of these, isn't there?
There is. And it's this complete rejection of more. It's a shift away from needing a huge audience or a viral moment.
It feels like in every single one of these models, the person who wins is the one who goes the deepest, not the widest.
That is the perfect way to put it. It's about alignment and quality. And there's one final mindset shift from the research that I think is the most important thing for anyone listening to take away. It's a simple question swap.
What is it?
Most people starting out get stuck asking, how do I do this? How do I build the website? How do I ship the product? How do I file the LLC?
Yeah, those are the scary technical hurdles.
And they're mostly distractions. The research says you need to stop asking how and start asking who.
Who is this for?
Exactly. If you can answer who specifically is this for, with painful detail like, this is for the anxious soy candle lover, or this is for the female educational YouTuber, then the how becomes so much easier. The how is just logistics. The who is the actual business.
That clarity would solve 90% of your marketing problems before you even have them.
That one question, who,
Mhm.
puts you ahead of 97.6% of other businesses starting out.
That is powerful.
Right.
It's not about you, it's about them.
Wow. Well, my brain is officially buzzing with ideas now. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. See you in episode 3.